Hi students! So today we are going to be doing self-portraits. And so self-portraits are basically when you draw a picture of yourself. So first I'm going to show you a really short presentation about portraits and self-portraits and give you some examples of different artists that do self-portraits. So I'm going to share my screen really quickly and I'm going to share a quick presentation on self-portraits. So self-portraits. So first off, what is a portrait? We know that a portrait is a painting or a drawing of a person, and it's usually from the shoulders up. So a portrait is just when you draw or paint a person. So way before we had cameras and cell phones, if you wanted a picture of yourself, you had to pay an artist to paint the picture of you or to draw a picture of you. That's why you see lots of kings and queens and presidents with really big portraits, really big paintings of themselves, because they would pay somebody to paint it for them because we couldn't take a picture. And so then that means that a self-portrait is a drawing or a painting that the artist makes of themselves. So it's kind of like when you take a selfie, except it's a drawing or a painting instead of a photo. You know how sometimes you take pictures of yourselves with your camera? A self-portrait is the same thing, except you're doing it with painting or drawing. You can see that in this little example, the man's kind of like painting his face. So it's not exactly what it is, but you can see that he is drawing and painting himself. A very famous person that did a lot of self-portraits. You guys probably know her. Her name was Frida Kahlo. She was a very famous Mexican painter, and we see her face everywhere because she did so many self-portraits. In a lot of her work, she puts her own face in it. She puts herself in her work a lot. So a good example of self-portraiture is Frida Kahlo. And you can see some details about her in the self-portraits that she does. You can see that she always has flowers in her hair, and she has a unibrow and a little bit of a mustache. And so she drew all of these details about herself because they were what made her her. Everybody knows Frida Kahlo for her unibrow because that's who she was and that's what she had. So it's really important that when you're doing a self-portrait, you put those specific details that make you, you in your drawing. We also learn a little bit about what she likes. We can see that she always has flowers in her hair and that she really likes nature because in her drawings and her paintings, she put flowers and plants and birds. So we learn a little bit about the artist every time they do a self-portrait, because in a self-portrait, the artist is usually trying to communicate something about themselves, is trying to tell the viewer something about themselves through their drawing or their painting. And so another famous painter who did a lot of self-portraits is Vincent van Gogh. And Vincent van Gogh was very famous back in his day. Well, he wasn't famous when he was alive. He became famous after he passed away. But Vincent van Gogh did a lot of self-portraits. And you can see that he did self-portraits to kind of document what he looked like and how he was feeling. You can see that he has a shaved head in one, and then he has long hair in another one. So he was just kind of documenting how he was changing, the ways that he was feeling. You can see that the backgrounds are different colors. And notice that in both of these, the background is filled. There is either a color, so how there's a blue one over here in the left picture, there's blue and flowers and birds, and then the one on the right, she has clouds and leaves. And notice that in Vincent van Gogh's, he has a green background or a blue squiggly background. See how they always have a background? Now, self-portraits don't always have to be these very fancy, formal things, and they don't always have to be paintings either. I do a lot of self-portraits in my sketchbook. It's a really good way to practice drawing faces because you have your own face. So you can get a mirror or you can take a picture of yourself and kind of draw from that. So you can see that I have some in charcoal, in pencil, in pen. So practicing drawing your face is a really good exercise because it'll start making you better at drawing other people's faces. And the cool thing about learning how to draw your own face is that then you can start imagining yourself in different ways. So here I imagined myself as an alien, or I imagined myself with pink skin and blue hair. You can get very creative with the way that you start drawing yourself, the way that you start depicting yourself. And so now it's your turn, but first I want to show you how to draw faces. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And so now I'm going to switch over to drawing. So let me just go ahead and fix my drawing camera. So I want you to get a sheet of paper. Mine's going to be kind of yellow because that's the kind that I have. But you can use whatever kind of paper that you have. If you have white paper, that's good. If you have yellow paper or paper with lines on it, that's also good. Whatever you have, whatever kind of paper. So for this lesson, we are going to be using paper, same as last week. You're going to need paper, a pencil, and colors. So you're going to need paper, pencil, and colors for today. So go ahead and gather your materials. And something that I want you to think about while you get ready is what do you want to be when you grow up? So what do you want to be when you grow up? I want you to keep this question in your brain and just kind of think about it. Think, do you want to be a firefighter? Do you want to be an EMT, a doctor, a nurse, a teacher, an artist, a singer, a dancer? There's so many possibilities and there's so many different things that we can be when we grow up. So I just want you to think about it. What do you want to be when you grow up? So I want you to get a new sheet of paper and now we're going to practice, okay? So I want you to use your pencil. Use your pencil, okay? I'm going to use a marker so that it comes up on the screen, but you are going to use a pencil. So you're going to use a pencil, okay? I'm going to use a marker just so that it shows up on the screen, but I want to make sure everyone's using a pencil just in case you want to erase or something. That way you don't have to get a new sheet of paper every time. So on this paper, I want you, on the top half, you're going to draw a big oval on one side and a big oval on this side. And that's going to be on the top half of your paper. And notice how I use the whole paper, okay? I don't have tiny little ovals in the middle. I have two big ovals on the top half. And then on the bottom, you're going to do 3 smaller circles. So just copy that down. With your pencil on your paper, I want you to do 2 big ovals up on the top. And then 3 smaller ones. They can be circles or ovals. It doesn't matter, okay? We're just going to practice drawing faces. So they don't have to be perfect circles or perfect ovals. As long as it's kind of a shape of a face, that's okay. So on this top half, I want you to just draw a face the way that you usually draw a face. How do you draw faces? So when I was your age, I would draw a face kind of like this. So I want you to draw a face however you draw it. You do not have to follow my example here. I'm just drawing a face how I used to draw it when I was in elementary school. So I would do 2 eyes like that, and then the nose. Sometimes I would like do that. And maybe do some hair. So that's how I used to draw faces when I was your age. So now I'm going to move down here. Once you finish drawing your face, I'm going to show you how to do a more 3D face. So with your pencil, again, I'm using marker and I'm using pen just so that it comes up on the screen, but you're doing this with a pencil. I want you to do a broken line like that. Remember we learned about broken lines our first week? You're going to do a broken line like that down the middle. So do a broken line down the middle of the face like that. And now you're going to do another line, kind of like if you're doing a lowercase t, or like kind of like a cross shape. So you're going to do another broken line up here. So now you should have 2 broken lines like that. And so this is what we're going to practice drawing our eyes. And so we're going to do some more realistic eyes. So our eyes, kind of like a football shape, right? So I'm going to draw that football shape. I'm going to do the top half. And then I'm going to do the bottom half. So I'm going to do the same thing on this side. The top of the football. And then the bottom of the football like that. So once you do your eye shapes, which are kind of like football shapes, we're going to do an eyelid. And that's going to make it look more realistic because our eyelids help protect our eyes. So I'm going to just do a skinny little line right there. Do the same thing on this side, just do a skinny little line on the top. That's going to give you an eyelid. And so now I'm going to fill in the eyeball. So fill in your eyeball. I like to leave a little highlight there. You can do that if you want to. You don't have to, you can fill it in if you want. So I'm going to fill in the eyeball like that. And of course, we all have eyebrows, so draw some eyebrows on there. We're learning how to do more realistic face, so it's okay if they're not even. If you notice, no 2 eyes are exactly the same. We usually have one eye that's a little bit bigger than the other one, and one eyebrow that's kind of a different shape than the other one. So it kind of makes sense that they're not totally symmetrical. So you don't have to focus too much on making them exactly alike. That's okay, and it's just practice. And so now we're going to move on to our second one, and we're going to draw those same lines. So I'm going to do the broken line going down the middle. Then I'm going to do another line right there, like if I'm doing a lowercase t. So go like that, like I'm doing a lowercase t. But now we're going to draw a second line, and this is going to be where our nose is. And our nose is kind of in the middle of our face. So I'm going to kind of go like around here, because I think that's the middle of my oval shape. So I'm going to do a broken line in the middle. And so now I want you to practice drawing the eyes again. So do the football shape. And it's important that you practice a lot. That's how you get better at art. That's how you get better at anything, really, with lots and lots of practice. So if you want to be an artist like Frida Kahlo or Vincent van Gogh, you need to practice a lot. I bet Frida painted her face lots and lots and lots of times before she got it looking as perfect as it does. But it's okay if it's not perfect. It's kind of not the point of art, but you just get better at drawing, and then you feel more confident about it. But right now, our drawings aren't going to be looking like Frida Kahlo or Vincent van Gogh, and that's okay, because they have been practicing for years and years and years. And we're just starting with art. But that's why you need to practice so that you can become a master. So now I did my eyes one more time. Gonna practice my eyebrows again. I think those look a little more even than these, so you can see how practicing it a couple times makes it a little bit better. So now I'm going to do the nose. And I know noses are kind of hard to draw, but there's a really easy way to draw noses. You're just going to do a circle, and then do another circle there, And another circle there. So a nose is really just one big circle with two smaller circles next to it. If you touch your nose, it's kind of squishy on the end. That's just cartilage. So there's no bone there. But now we need to draw the bone. So that's the bridge of your nose. So if you go from the tip of your nose and kind of go all the way up, that really long part that's connecting the tip of your nose to your face, that's called your bridge. That's where the bone is. So I'm just going to take a line and connect it there, and then take another line and connect it there. And that gives us the bridge of our nose. So now we know how to do our eyes and our nose. So then in my third circle, I'm going to draw those same lines. So doing the broken line down the middle, a broken line where the eyes would be, like if we're doing a lowercase t, a broken line horizontally in the middle. That one went a little bit crooked, that's okay. Then I'm going to do another line where the mouth would be. So your mouth and your nose are kind of close to each other, right? So there probably isn't going to be this much space. So I'm going to go, let me see, maybe like right there. Maybe right there is where our mouth would be. So you can put it, doesn't have to be exactly where mine is, but just know that your mouth isn't going to be all the way down here where your chin is, right? So we're not going to do our line like all the way down here. And we know that our mouth isn't where our nose is, so we're not going to do our line all the way here. You're going to kind of do it in between where your chin is and where the nose is. So it's kind of in the middle of those two lines. So just one more time, I'm going to practice my eyes. Football shape. Skinny little line for the eyelid. Filling it in. Filling this one in. The eyebrows. Then our nose. So remember, the nose is just a big circle with two smaller circles next to it. Then we have to do the bridge. So we're going to do two lines, kind of connecting it to where the little circle meets the big circle, like right there. So now we're going to do the mouth. And the way that we usually draw our mouths is kind of like this, right? We usually just do like a smiley face like that. So it's going to kind of be the same thing over here. So on this line, I'm going to do just a smiley face like how I normally would. But the thing is that we don't just have lines on our faces, right? We have lips. So right here where the middle is, I'm going to go like that and give it some lips. Then a big lip on the bottom. So you can do your lips like that, or let me show you another way. You can also do your lips going like that. So you can pick. You can do lips that go all around like that, or you can do a little more pointy lips, some more pronounced lips. So now we have all these pieces, right? We learned how to do eyes, nose, and a mouth in a more realistic way. And these are called proportions. We're learning where the eyes, nose, and mouth sits on our face. Proportions are just where your facial features sit. So proportions are like how far away your nose and your eyes are and how far away your mouth and your nose is. Proportions are just the space and the size of your facial features. So then in this circle, I'm going to use all of what I just learned to draw a new face, okay? So remember, if you want to draw the lines again, you can draw the lines, but if you want to challenge yourself a little bit, you can try to just freehand it. So I'm going to do that same football shape, so I know it's football, and then football. So I know that I have these kind of like football shapes for my eyes. And I have a skinny line, little piece like that for the eyelid. I'm so sorry if you guys can hear my dog barking in the background. He's getting a little bit loud. So then I'm going to do the eye, and I'm going to fill it in, leaving that little highlight again. And you don't have to do that if you don't want to. If you want to do the whole eye black, you can do the whole eye black. And then I'm going to do the nose, and I know that the nose is going to be kind of in the middle of my face, so I can imagine where the middle is. So I'm going to do a big circle with two smaller circles next to it like that. Then I'm going to do the bone. So I'm going to go like that and connect it to that little space. Then I'm going to go like that, connect it to that little space. And if you have a pencil, something that you can do is erase this line that's right here. So if you want to, you can erase that part. I can't do that because I did it in pen. That's why I said I wanted you to use a pencil. So if you want, if you have a pencil, you can erase that area right there, and it'll look a little bit more like a nose. So then we're going to do our lips. So I'm going to draw a smile. Then where the middle of my nose is, I'm going to do my lips. So I'm going to go like that, and then the bottom one. And so now you can see the difference between the first kind of face that we drew and the second kind of face that we drew. And one of the big differences between them is that this one's a little more cartoon, right? It's a little more 2D. It's flat. And our new face, with all of the new knowledge that we just learned, oh, I forgot the eyebrows. There we go. I knew it looked like something was missing. And so now our new face has a lot of extra details. We gave it eyebrows and eyelids and an eye shape. We gave it a nose from the front and some lips. So you can see that the second face looks a little bit more realistic than the first face, right? And so now, remember that question that I asked at the very beginning? I asked you to think about this. I asked you to think about, what do you want to be when you grow up? What do you want to be when you grow up? So think about it again, because now we're going to be doing our own self-portraits. And I want you to draw yourself as what you're going to be when you grow up. So if you want to be a firefighter, then you can draw yourself as a grown-up firefighter. So first, I'm going to show you how to start it off. So you're going to do a big oval. So do a big oval on your paper. And you see how I'm using my entire, you see how I'm using the entire page? You can see that I'm using the whole paper. So I want you to do the same thing. I want you to use the whole sheet of paper. I don't want to see little tiny portraits like that. No, you have a whole sheet of paper. I want you to do the whole sheet of paper like that. So remember that a portrait is from the shoulders up. So now that I have the head, I'm going to go ahead and move down. And then I'm going to do the neck and the shoulders. And that's just going to be a curved line like that that goes to the end. And then a curved line like that that goes to the end. Remember a couple weeks ago when we did our turtle, I said that every drawing is just made up of a bunch of different lines and shapes. And it's going to be the same thing here. You see how we have an oval shape and then curved lines. So now, using our new knowledge from the activity that we just did, I want you to draw this face onto here. So we're going to take the same things that we did here and apply them to the bigger face. If you want to draw the lines to help you, you can draw the lines to help you. So I'm going to do, remember, football shape, football shape. I'm going to do the same thing over here, football shape, and football shape. Then I'm going to do the skinny line for the eyelid. Skinny line for the eyelid. Then do the eye. And then I'm going to do my nose. So if you have like a bigger nose, then maybe draw a bigger circle. If you know that you have a small nose, draw a smaller circle. I think my nose is kind of medium sized. So I'm going to do a medium circle and then the two circles next to it. Then I'm going to do the bridge. Then I'm going to move down to that smiley face shape. And then give it lips like that. And so if there's any special things about your face that make you you, I want you to add them. Like, you know how Frida had her unibrow and she put her unibrow in every single picture? I want you to kind of do the same thing. So like me, for example, I have tiny little freckles on my face. So I'm going to do little freckles like that because I have freckles. If you have nunads, maybe you have a nunad right here. Do a nunad right there. I know that I have these two nunades underneath my eyes, so I'm going to put those on there like that. And I also wear glasses. So if you wear glasses, you can draw the glasses on there too. So I wear circle glasses like you guys saw. So I'm going to do my circle glasses. But if you have square glasses, you would do squares and then connect them. If you have rectangle glasses, you would do rectangles and connect them. I also have very thick eyebrows, so I'm going to do very thick eyebrows like that. So just adding any details that make you, you, okay? I also have big eyelashes, so I'm going to give myself big eyelashes like that. So now it's starting to look a little bit more like me because I'm adding those details. So then I'm going to do my hair. And then you can put some ears on there too. If you want to do ears, your ears, if you notice, like if you look in the mirror next time, your ear kind of starts up by your eye and then it comes down to your nose. So I'm going to start up here by my eye, kind of come down there by my nose. So now I'm going to finish up my hair. So I want you adding in those details that make you, you. So I'm doing my hair, kind of has a little flip at the end like that. I'm just going to fill it in black because my hair is black. If you have brown hair, you can take your brown color and fill it in brown. But remember, this is a picture of what we want to be when we grow up. So maybe when you grow up, you want to have like blue hair or pink hair. If when you grow up, you want to have different colored hair, you can give yourself different color hair in this picture. And so now I'm going to draw myself as what I want to be. Well, I'm already a grown-up, so I'm just going to draw what I already am in the background. I'm going to draw my little art studio. So I'm going to do some paint in the background. Like that. And that's because I am an artist. So I'm going to do paint. If you want to be a doctor, maybe you can do a hospital in the background. If you want to be a football player or a soccer player, you could do a soccer or a football field in the background. So whatever you want to be is what you're going to put in the back. So I'm an artist, so I'm going to draw my easel like that, where I lean my paintings. So you are going to draw what you want to be when you grow up. So I'm an artist, and that's why I'm doing all these different kinds of like art materials. I'm gonna do, I have a paintbrush right there. And that's because I am an artist. So if you want to be a race car driver, you could do a racetrack in the back. Gonna do like a little paint stain right there. So I want you decorating it as what you want to be when you grow up. So I have my easel, a little paint stain, a paintbrush, and a paint bucket. That's because I'm mostly a painter. I do a lot of paintings. So that's why I'm putting painting stuff in the background. Then I'm going to do a little shirt like that. And then I'll do some paint stains on it, because whenever I paint, kind of get it all over the place. So I'm going to do my paint stains like that. And I always wear a black necklace. Something that I wear a lot also are some star earrings. So I'm going to do my star earrings. It's also my favorite shape. So remember how Frida did stuff like flowers, because that's stuff that she really liked? If there's stuff that you really like, or maybe there's stuff that you wear, like if there's a necklace that you wear all the time, or earrings that you wear all the time, I want you to put those in there too. So once you finish drawing in all of your details and showing us what you want to be when you grow up, so once you start kind of putting the finishing touches on there, we're going to go ahead and color it in. And remember that I don't like to see any blank space. So I like when we fill in the whole page. So I'm going to get my colors. And I broke one. Okay, give me a minute so that I can sharpen that. So I'm going to get my color pencils, but you can use whatever you have. If you have crayons, markers, anything that you have to color with is going to be good. Let me just go ahead and sharpen my orange really quickly. So you can make the skin color whatever you want too. Did you notice how in one of those paintings I had like hot pink skin? I had like hot pink and purple skin. You can do that if you want to do that too. If you want to give yourself green skin, blue skin. I usually always leave the colors up to you. So you can make the colors however you want them. If you're trying to do like a more like naturalistic skin tone, like a more like what your skin tone is in real life, I'm going to show you how to do that. So what I usually do is I take a brown, and depending on your skin color, if you're a little bit darker, you would push down. If you're lighter, you wouldn't push as much. So I'm just going to go in with a brown color and fill it in. And the really cool thing about our skin is that it's not actually just one color. Our skin color is a bunch of different like reds and yellows and orange and browns combined. So like when painters would do portraits, they wouldn't just use one color. You would have to mix a lot of different colors to get your skin color. You would have to layer a lot of different colors to get a skin color, because our skin isn't just one flat color. If you look at your face in the mirror next time, you can start noticing that maybe you have like more like yellowish undertones, more red undertones, because our skin has different layers of color to it. So I'm just going in with my brown and putting in a base layer. Again, you can look at your arm if you want and try to match the color that you're doing to the color that's on here. So if you want to do the brown, and if you want to just stop at the brown, you can do that. I'm going to layer it a little bit more, just because I like to color. So I'm gonna do brown. So if you want, you can color in your skin tone like that and leave it like that. Or you can press down a little bit harder. Again, if your skin tone's a little bit darker, you can press down harder and make it more brown. So then I'm gonna go in with my orange and I'm gonna go over the brown like that. And this is gonna give you kind of like a little bit of a peach color, mixing this orange and this brown. So our skin is made up of all those warm colors that we learned about a couple weeks ago. Your skin is made up of warm tones, usually. It's made up of red and orange and yellow, the Roy and Roy G. Biv. Just give me one moment. My pencil broke again, so I gotta sharpen it. So I'm gonna go in with my orange. So that kind of gives me like this peachy color. So I'm gonna go back in, and you can just keep layering it if you want it to be more saturated. And I think last week we learned about that when a color is saturated, it means that the color is packed in there a lot more. So if you want your color to be more saturated, you would just do more layers. And again, sorry if you can hear my dogs in the background, they get kind of loud. So I'm just gonna go back in with my brown, do another layer. So doing another layer of brown. Then I'm gonna go in again with my orange. Then I'm gonna get my yellow and my red. I'm gonna kind of put my yellow where the highlights of my face would be. So this is kind of a tip for my older kids. If you're my first, second, or third graders, you don't have to worry about this part. But if you're like my fourth or fifth graders, you might want to try this. So I'm getting a yellow color, and I'm going in and kind of filling in where the highlights of my face would be. Kind of like right there. And right there. So you don't have to do this again. It's just a suggestion. I'm just giving you examples. So then I'm going to go in again with my orange and kind of do a little bit of shading. Just push down a little bit like that. I'm going to get my brown. So again, if you're one of my younger students, like my first or my second or my third graders, you don't have to worry too much about shading, okay? I just want you to color it in. If you're a fourth or a fifth grader, I want you to try shading, because we tried shading a little bit. We did shading and blending with the dragon in our last lesson. So I'm going to do a shadow there, and the pencil is breaking. Okay. 1 minute, please. Okay. Kind of got a little bit. Oh, okay. I'm going to do a little shadow there, a little shadow around the nose, like that. Then I'm going to get my red, and I'm going to go in like that, because I have a little bit of red on my face in this area. So I'm going to just fill it in red like that. The color's not really showing up on the camera, but in person there's a lot of color. So again, you can really color it in whatever color you want. I've just been giving you suggestions and tips. You don't have to follow this exactly like how I am, because everybody looks different. So your skin color is going to look different from mine, and your face is going to look different from mine, and that's the point. That's the point of art, is that everybody's art looks different, and everybody's face looks different, so everyone's self-portrait is going to look different. Oh, I forgot to color in my ears. And then I want you to color in the background. So we're filling it in. Remember, I don't like to see any empty space. So you can take your favorite color and do the background, or again, if you're going to be a doctor or a firefighter or a nurse, I want you to like draw the hospital in the background, draw the office in the background. Whatever you imagine being in the background when you're older, like where you're going to be working. So I'm going to take my blue color and fill in my paint. So remember, I want us to color in everything, no empty space. So yours does not have to look like mine. You are doing what you want to be when you grow up. If you want to be an artist, you can take ideas from mine. But if you want to be a singer, you can do like a stage in the background with some musical notes. Whatever you want to be. I'm going to do the green on there too. I'm going to color in the easel. They're usually made of wood. So I'm going to color it in brown. Then I'm going to do my shirt with my paint stains on it. So I'm going to do the blue one down here. Maybe a red one right there. And a green one right there. So we're just coloring in our self-portrait, leaving no blank space. The handles are usually made of wood too, so I'm going to fill that in. The brush is usually like this yellowish color. So I'm filling in my whole page. I'm going to make my shirt kind of like a white color. Well, I'm just going to fill it in. Because remember, I don't like any blank space. I like for us to fill up the whole paper. So I'm going to do my shirt black. So I usually wear a black shirt. So I'm just drawing a picture of who I am right now, because I'm already a grown-up. But I want you to draw a picture of what you think or what you want to look like when you're a grown-up. So then I'm going to do my background. And because I already drew all these little figures, I think I'm just going to take, let me see, my purple, because that's my favorite color, and I'm going to go like that, and I'm going to fill it in. Just to fill up that blank space and make it a full, nice, beautiful photo. So just fill in the background. And again, you can draw a football field, a soccer field, whatever you want. I just drew kind of like a little studio and a little paint bucket and a paintbrush. So I'm just filling in my background now with my favorite color. Because I don't want any blank space. I want us using all the colors that we learned about. So red, orange, green, blue, purple. And I'm going to get my black and maybe fill in my hair a little bit more. But again, if you want to have different colored hair, if you want to have like blue hair, pink hair, you can give yourself blue hair or pink hair if that's something that you want to have when you're older. And so now I have my self-portrait. The color doesn't come up too much on the camera, but you can see that I've filled in the background, kind of showing you me as an artist. I want to see drawings of you all, of you guys as doctors, as painters, as nurses, as firefighters, whatever you want to be when you're older. I want to see all these different self-portraits of what you guys are imagining yourselves to be. And so remember to record a response to submit it. So remember that you're going to select record a response. So you're going to select record a response, and then you're just going to send me a quick little clip of you showing your drawing to me, okay? So you don't have to say anything. You don't have to present anything. I just want you to go like this. I'm going to show you real quick. Record a quick video of you kind of holding it up like this, going like that. Just hold it up. That's all you have to do when you record a response, okay? So when you record a response, just go like that and show me what you drew, okay? So if you have any questions, just send me a message. But this is how I don't want to receive any photos on Teams or anything, okay? This is just faster and it's easier. So if you have any questions, send me a message and I'll go ahead and help you as much as I can, okay? Bye.